This is a one-eyed patient with diffuse corneal opacity along with rock-hard cataract. This patient also landed up into Argentinian plaque sign during the course of capsulorhexis. So the biggest challenge in this patient was how to prevent the extension of the anterior capsular tear into the posterior capsule while managing this rock-hard nuclei underneath the hazy cornea. So the most important thing was to stain the anterior capsule. So what we did was we stained the anterior capsule under the visco so that the cornea does not get the stain. So you could see here in this particular case the cornea is fairly okay and the anterior capsule is very nicely stained. Then to start the capsulorhexis, we have to flatten the anterior capsule. So I'm trying to inject the viscoelastic to flatten the anterior capsule, pressurizing the anterior chamber. And then with the help of cystotome, I'm trying to prick the anterior capsule. But you could see here, the moment I pricked the anterior capsule, the capsular tear extended to the periphery. So this is what is called as Argentinian plaque sign because of its color synonymous to the Argentinian flag. So this is an unexpected complication which has happened in this particular case at this stage, which has added to already existing trouble to us. But we have to manage this. So to manage this, first of all, we have to decompress the capsular bag as much as possible. So I'm trying to do a visco expression of the liquefied and fluffy cortex out of the capsular bag so that we decompress the capsular bag, and then injecting the viscoelastic to flatten the anterior capsule and flatten the edges of the tear. So this is important because now, since we have to create a rhexis, because we have to complete the rhexis, we have to retrieve this rhexis. So we must flatten the anterior capsule, and then after flattening this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a small nick on each edges of this tear. And now this the first nick which I have given with the micro scissors, and then hold the tip of the flap which is created and then complete a semicircular rhexis on one side. This is the semicircular rhexis completed on one side, and then I'm giving the nick on the other side. Now this flap also is held with the rhexis forceps, and then this semicircular rhexis is created on the other side of the edge of the tear. Once the rhexis is complete, we have to crack this hard nucleus. And to crack this nucleus, we have to use a technique which is the simplest one, least traumatic and least stressful, because in this particular case, we have to prevent the extension of the tear into the posterior capsule. So your mechanics and your handling of the nucleus should be so simple and so safe that you do not create any stress on the posterior capsule. So in this particular case, I'm going to use Terminator, the wedge tool, with the terminal chop technique, which is, I feel, is the least stressful and least traumatic. So you can see here in this particular case, after I hold the nucleus just within the equator, and with the help of the Terminator, I crack the nucleus. So you could see here the nucleus is broken into two complete free segments. Then I'm trying to rotate the nucleus. Once you rotate the nucleus, you have to be a little careful, like should not put too much of a stress while rotating, and then hold the heminuclei, crack it further. So nucleus is broken into free pieces. Now you can see here. Once these free pieces are there, you can very simply draw them on the phaco probe and emulsify. So as you could see happening in this particular case, like these pieces are automatically coming onto the tip of the phaco probe and being emulsified. Now once the emulsification procedure is complete, you could see here not much of cortex, there is no cortex, no epinucleus. The posterior capsule is almost clear. So now next step is to implant the IOL. So while implanting the IOL, one has to take care, like the IOL should go into the capsular bag, and while dialing it, take care like the haptics are not entangled with the broken flap. And then finally the IOL should be placed, the haptics should be placed perpendicular to the radial tear. So this is the ideal position of the IOL. You can see here, nicely placed. And then the next, to remove the visco from the anterior chamber, it's always better to use bimanual technique because this is least stressful and you can handle it very nicely. These flaps keep away the flaps with the aspiration and irrigation needle. And then once you complete the aspiration of the viscoelastic, hydrate the wound, and you can see here that the wounds are hydrated. The IOL is very well placed, the flaps are okay, the tear has not extended the posterior capsule, and the patient had a very nice vision on the next day. So thank you very much for being with this video with us.